Hello, this is Dr. Mia Luth. It is March 22nd at 5:32 p.m. Oh, crap. Hold on. Apparently, I don't have a stable internet connection. But I'm going to say what I say anyway. Yes, it is 5:33 p.m. Eastern Time, New York, USA. Um, I have zero respect or time for cowards, planet Earth. Okay, I'm working on my bucket list, hockey people, and anybody who between the years of 2009 and today who has contacted me online in any way, the internet. Hold on, I'm going to close something here and see if that helps any. uh, you're just a sad little being hiding. So whatever the daddy ranky situation is, yeah, outlook.com. I know that on X, I'm not the only one that had an issue. But my X account got suspended, even though I wasn't doing any of those things. So I can't use my tablet to record these anymore because the it was not a very expensive. It was in El Cheapo, and the hole where the camera is, it's now like looking through a like rabbit hole now. Exactly, it's like eh, um because the outer protector is broken a little. So with duct tape, of course. My favorite color duct tape though is blue, and yes, it is called DUCT tape. Although that's fun that the company, right, calls it duct tape. DUCK. I'm 54. Okay, people, and I like talking to mature adults. And I think that there are shitloads of cowards who do things online. And well, some of them are hockey people, some of them are music people. And I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. When I say I wasn't kidding about the fact that if you don't identify yourself to me, you get treated like a hostile. Okay? There's some, you know, stupid thinking out in the world. Like, for some reason, you can't get caught or found. Okay? So, anyway, yes, I am working on my bucket list because I got x ray on the shoulder, and no, I was not given a splint or, what do you call it? What's that thing? A splint, right? Right. Because my insurance doesn't, uh, isn't my Medicaid, my Maryland Medicaid insurance is not taken by the local urgent care. So I had to go make an appointment, get my orthopedist to, send over a referral so I could get a shoulder x ray, and then, schedule an appointment to see him, and I couldn't schedule it for Tuesday because I've already got two doctor's appointments on Tuesday, and his only other availability was Thursday. I have gotten a pain shot, and unfortunately, it's not really working. I have moderate to severe deterioration of the AC. I have osteoarthritis, and it is rather aggressive. So I couldn't get my hip replaced because I had double pneumonia and a hiatal hernia. And now I have to find out whether I have to get my shoulder done before I get my hip done. I have fibromyalgia and something which could be related to lymphoma, um, called hidradenitis suppurativa. And my whole family is deceased, so my support is very little. Um, I just hope that, you know, when I do pass away, I'm able to haunt some people. I got plenty of unresolved issues, if that's how things work. Anyway, so the Winnipeg Jets won today in a shootout, and Winnipeg just lost. See, I say we. Like, when I say we, I I mean the Winnipeg Jets. Um. Anyway, so 3 points on the weekend, two today and a point yesterday, and I mean, a point is a point. Everybody, you can argue in theory about all kinds of crap, but they're real time, real live, real time. Yep, and who gives a shit? It's a point. And quite frankly, you know, franchise, okay, that purposely tanks their own team in order to get a better draft pick is basically unacceptable to me. That is unacceptable to the National Hockey League. And it pretty much takes away from all the efforts that everyone went through to achieve parity. Because, oh, let's just say three or four clubs decide, oh, well, we're just going to tank the team, which means it's being done intentionally. Okay? It's wrong, and it's cheating. And when some teams don't do it but other teams do, well, there goes parity. I disagree with all of you. And every single franchise needs to be investigated, right, from the time that the NHL put the draft lottery together. Okay, if if an NHL franchise can't lose honestly and win honestly, then they should not be an NHL franchise. True. So you guys want to say, oh, because the players don't want to. I have seen so much inferred absolute crap bullshit on, on the chats. Okay, kids. Now, if X wants to stop a little woman whose entire family is deceased and has serious medical condition from chatting and putting up posts on their forum, then I guess I'll see them all in hell. I'm probably going to beat you there. So many people talk big about how generous they are and all these wonderful things that they've done. And so many people swear they know things. Okay, but I'm not that kind of hockey lover. So anyone who thinks that it's a good strategic tactic in the National Hockey League to purposefully tank their own franchise should be, at the very least, sued by every player, every season ticket holder, and every one of the coaches who were on contract while they were GM. You're you're just unacceptable in that thinking. Point blank. Okay, there are teams that have been in the mushy middle, and lo and behold, not too many years later, they end up winning the Stanley Cup. So this woman right here, who now has to probably get surgery on my shoulder before I get a new hip. Yes, I've gotten to the point also where, if if you don't mind, please keep your gods away from me and out of the conversation, because as far as I can tell, okay, God does not know how to treat a lady. And many of you have no, all my technology is glitching in all sorts of various ways. I don't want to hear from a single Christian. Your is unstable. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me, rich people. I mean, how obnoxious do you want to come across is what I'm asking. But the Christians, oh, we're here to help. Oh, really? Excuse me. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not an alcoholic. I've suffered some pretty serious abuse. I was adopted, so some of you all people with your, what birth order were you in and all your clever little things, well, your shit gets shoved right down the toilet flush because they're biological children whose mommies, mostly mommies, sometimes daddies, don't know. Zero respect for the vast majority of the whatever I've been talking to online over the last 15 years. When somebody asks you to identify yourself, that's what you do. Some hockey people, putting pressure on me to find the money and help them do all this crap. And it's just like, excuse me, I count as a living being who needed help, and instead, you dumb fucks put pressure on me to do something you couldn't even explain very well. I know this. I understand how athletes think. Well, it's not easy for me because I can't. Yes, functional neurological disorder, which, right, plays with the fibro. And there were, symptoms that I've been diagnosed by two separate and independent sources, too, by the way. I know it's the disabled people that are the big problem in the world. I understand. I don't want to go through a bunch of surgeries so I'm titanium from the waist down. I don't want to wake up in horrible pain, and you're not being smart. National Hockey League and franchises, if you allow your backup goalie to get too cold. And I would rather like to, I don't want to say it, but at some point it's kind of like, yeah, well, I think that there's a franchise who's, goalie main dude might just get injured, and oh no, then the backup goalie's going to have to take shit from every non-athlete and every non-goalie flying around planet Earth thinking they know what the hell they're talking about because they went in cold. If the Winnipeg Jets can't win honestly and lose honestly, then the National Hockey League is lost and should stop operating. Okay? Zero respect for that. And I don't know what you guys think a general manager in the NHL does, but clearly most of you don't know. We did get a first round draft pick. We got Buffalo's first round draft pick. His name is Isak Rosean. So you guys want to push all the moose, whether they're ready or not, up top, and then have them like play for contracts and play to get noticed and all this other kind of stuff and play the. But while they're doing that, though, you want air quote, yes, the GM to maneuver things so that the Winnipeg Jets lose. You people need to sit down and shut the F up. I have zero respect for you. Zero. Backup goalies are not a dime a dozen, especially if they're really liked in the room and they work hard every day and they're there to fill in when the league MVP, by the way. I mean, some of you're basically projecting all your bad characteristics onto other people, by the way. Just so you know. Some of it's transference. Yes, these are terms that people who understand human psychology would know. Of course, I'm going to be ignored. Excuse me, wealthy people. Um, yeah, some of you are not doing it right. Yes, I know. Trickle down economics doesn't work because 90% of the population doesn't even understand it. And the next tier, you understand, right? Then automatically is like, oh, well, I got to keep, saving up and making more and making more and taking more and taking more, right? So that I can be a billionaire, so I can hire a bunch of people. Unfortunately, yes, many don't understand. They cheat the system and it doesn't fucking hit the ground like it should. Anyone who wants me bad things to happen to me, that's on you. And that's who you are. That is not me or who I am. So there are people that live in their own disgusting world and their own disgusting stink of them being themselves. Okay. You all can just go be in your miserable blah and leave me the fuck alone. Just because I have a high IQ when last tested, yeah, 126, but I'm very sick and cognitive difficulties having to do with fibromyalgia, PTSD, horrible pain that sometimes reaches level 10, that I gotta get up and be strong for assholes sitting on their fucking asses somewhere online thinking they're awesome. So you guys push your fucking God on me? Well, I'm suing God for damages. I cannot stand whiny males. If there's one thing on earth that I really just can't stand, because I can tolerate a lot of shit. I'm not saying I agree with it. There's a difference. There is a difference. People get online and they don't understand. Like, excuse me, some of you. Okay, when it comes to the Jets, Winnipeg Jets, listen, if you are not 18 or over, just stop getting on chats. Just stop. Okay? Wait until you're older to do that. Yeah, I listen to what the coaches have to say. I listen to what the players have to say. And I listen. I've also been paying attention to the entirety of the NHL, not just one team, right? For as long as I can remember. Yeah, probably around the age of 8. Hey, I don't know. I might have been born with some hockey in me, you know what I'm trying to say. But I was adopted, so I got moved around. That's all I can tell you is I grew up 20 minutes from Cal Ripken and the Ripken baseball dynasty in the same county. And somehow I grew up in a baseball loving house. But the first time I saw an ice hockey game, I was done for. And all I wanted from that point on was more. I need a lot of help, but that help is not available to me. And I don't really feel like waking up every day in horrible pain New pain every day. Yes, my shoulder was not doing so badly until very recently. I looked at the lab, I looked at the x ray. Severe degeneration of the AC and pain shot not effective. I don't want to get up anymore. I don't want to be around when people cater to whiny males and don't give a flying fuck about me at all. So I'm dead woman walking. I I do hope that Connor Hellebuck doesn't get injured before the end of the season. And he's still the league MVP. I gotta say, if I was gonna trade Connor Hellebuck, the only one I would want to trade for would be Vasilevsky. And maybe the club is trying to protect some of the guys on the Moose. One, playoffs, and two, maybe they don't need your shit. Maybe, they just need to concentrate on what they're doing and, trying to get better every day with their games instead of being put up in the National Hockey League where, a certain swath of individuals who think that they're fucking experts are going to give you like 3 games to become a perfect fucking ice hockey player. I do agree with Mr. Shovel Day Off. Yes, hockey, affectionately called Chevy. It it really isn't. It isn't fantasy hockey. So many of you just say, "Well, why won't they do this?" And why is Coach Arneal scared of doing this? It's got nothing to do with that at all. Okay, I think some of you just need to just stop getting on chats and take some time to learn and understand the National Hockey League and players and coaches and how this all works and GMs. Okay, they are limited. And now in the playoffs, there's a salary cap. So, no, they can't like bring up 3 Moose if they don't have a spot on the roster for them. Bianca's back off IR. Okay, so guys have to go back down. Well, why haven't you put this one on roster? All right, listen. I understand Nyquist. I'm just constantly rooting for Gus Nyquist to get a hattie every single game he's on ice. It isn't just about scoring goals. Okay, now those who understand the game understand some of those good things that he does that helps both the defense and the offense. Now, if you don't think it bothers him that he's not scoring goals, you're fucking wrong. Just put him on waivers. Put him on waivers. Okay, yes, but then basically that's a loss for the club. More than one way. Ever since I was 10 years old, I'm 54 now. My main goal in life, whether I talked about it with anybody or not, was getting my name on a Stanley Cup. Crazy, isn't it? Not totally impossible, though. Obviously, yeah, not going to do it as a player. I mean, come on. Some of these guys start skating when they're 3 and 4 years old. So the fact they might be making millions now, okay, they fucking earned it. Because they started when they were 3 and 4 years old. And they weren't getting paid for it. There are some things that don't involve parity. Parents without a lot of financial resources have difficulty getting their kids the kind of on certain teams that where scouts might hang, proper gear, proper travel. So you know there's still a lot of work to do when it comes to parity in ice hockey in general. Hey, didn't say a word about it to anybody for a really long time. But what have I been aiming at this whole time? Yep, the Stanley Cup. Clearly not going to be a player. I understood that when I was 10 years old. Regardless, I'm trying to work on my bucket list, and I've had to remove some things because, you know, I'm best case scenario looking at at least 4 surgeries in the next 2 years, if not more. People don't come and visit me. People lie to me a lot. Insolent, obnoxious cowards online feel they have the right to do and say whatever they want. And I disagree. I disagree. So, as far as I'm concerned, you know, hot roseing is kind of like picking up a little, starting to, mesh a little better, but it still takes a little time. I can understand Perfetti, maybe he wasn't going full bore. Yes, I've had high ankle sprains. Yes, plural. And oh Lord, I didn't have those kind of resources that he does. So, but yes, so instead of it being a year, maybe 6 months, but still, yeah, you're gonna be a little bit, walk a little gingerly. I mean, ice hockey has everything to do with your ankles, especially skaters. Like sharp turns, trying to, you know, anyway. I was cyber bullied for a while, but apparently, the United States government doesn't really give a shit about that either, or the fact that I'm military family and all of mine are dead. No, no, we don't care. Who cares? I do. I care about player safety an awful lot. I never like it when a player goes down and doesn't get back up. And there are people whose voices from radio, because when I was younger, I used to stay up, and when my parents went to sleep, I would go down the basement, and there was this little area near this window where my little AM FM little receiver radio, right? If I put up the antenna and I stayed leaning up against the wall, I could hear AM on AM stations, the hockey radio call from teams like the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Maple Leafs, and sometimes Montreal. And it took a while before games were even on TV, but I used to ask my dad to buy the paper every week. The one that came out on Wednesday, I can't remember what it's called, so that I could look at the scores and read the articles. And when I first started working, I made sure to put aside money. And at the very, very moment that I had put aside a little money and saved enough to drive to a hockey game, that's what I would do. So, what do you think? Think my life is great? Well, no, because I can't go to live music shows anymore. I can't go to live ice hockey games anymore. And I got to deal with a bunch of highly abusive cowards online. And live in a country that doesn't really give a shit about me or its own, so it seems. I also have to get bothered by fake and or real celebrities in a variety of ways. It's just absolutely obnoxious. And, fake and or real Illuminati who want me to give them $300 or an iPhone card. The all seeing eye. Yeah. Go preach it to a different choir. I mean, I don't need any of you to tell me about the all seeing eye. I don't need a penis to have really good hockey sense when it comes to the National Hockey League. And I need people who are actually willing to help me, not, you know, you say you're gonna and then not do it. So I've had to remove a bunch of stuff from my bucket list. I never wrote it down, but I am calling it that because I just don't care anymore. I mean, if some of you talk about making excuses, there's a lot of people online, oh, they're just making excuses. It's just like, no, they're trying to tell you what it's actually like. I mean, some of the coaches and the GMs and some of the players are actually just trying to educate you so that you know what it's like for them. I've been listening the whole time. I want to fight to stay alive. I don't want to fight with insurance companies. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to be titanium from the waist down. I don't need to be cured of who I am. And I don't need to be stronger than every single fucking male on this goddamn planet. So I need to go. But, all I'm saying, Winnipeg Jet style and the Moose is, and honestly, lose, honestly. And fuck anybody doesn't goddamn understand. Okay? Go Jets. I have to say before I get off, I think my favorite soup of all time is so hard. There's lots of good soups. New England clam chowder. I can't eat it anymore. But there you go. Yep, my timer went off. Gotta go. Anyway, it's not good news when it comes to my health. I mean, I know you don't care. So I'm becoming, obviously, just full on balls out, honest about things because I don't give a shit. I'm a dead woman walking. I know you don't give a shit either. All right, everybody, tell the people you around you love them, even if you're pissed off at them, because you may never get a chance to do that again. Just trust me.